Thomas Chong, born on May 24, 1938, in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, is a multifaceted artist known for his contributions to music, film, and cannabis advocacy. He spent his early years in Canada before eventually venturing into the world of entertainment. Chong's artistic journey began with music in the late 1950s, where he was a guitarist and a member of various bands, including the seminal group Bobby Taylor and the Vancouvers. However, Chong's career truly took off when he joined forces with Richard Cheech Marin, forming the iconic comedy duo Cheech and Chong in the early 1930s. Their partnership was marked by a unique blend of irrelevant humor, countercultural commentary, and an unwavering spotlight on cannabis culture. Their comedy albums, notably Big Bamboo and Cheech and Chong's wedding album, became iconic works of their time, earning them a devoted fan base. Transitioning from music to film, Tommy Chong and Cheech Marin starred in a series of highly successful movies that solidified their status as cultural icons. Films like Up in Smoke in 1978, Nice Dreams in 81, and Still Smokin' in 83 were characterized by their hilarious portrayal of cannabis culture and countercultural themes. In addition to his entertainment career, Tommy Chong became a fervent advocate for cannabis legalization, a passionate supporter of cannabis's medicinal and recreational benefits.
Because the thing that pot has really helped me do is it's medicine for the brain. But what it really does, it changes the brain. It relaxes the brain, and it allows the brain to do its job, which is to dream, which is to create.
He used his platform to push for policy changes, becoming a prominent voice in the movement for legalization and decriminalization. His advocacy work aimed to break down stereotypes and misconceptions surrounding cannabis while emphasizing its potential positive impact on individuals and society as a whole. As an enduring figure in pop culture and a staunch proponent of cannabis rights, Tommy Chong's legacy continues to resonate, leaving an indelible mark on both the entertainment industry and the fight for cannabis reform. However, none of that mattered. In fact, it actually worked against him. The early 2000s marked a turning point in the government's stance on drug paraphernalia. During this period, the United States intensified its efforts to combat drug paraphernalia sales, culminating in the initiation of Operation Pipe Dreams. Operation Pipe Dreams was an American nationwide investigation in 2003, targeting businesses selling drug paraphernalia, mostly cannabis pipes and bongs, under a little-used statute. Due to the reluctance of state law enforcement agencies to contribute resources to the operation, most cases were filed in Iowa and Pennsylvania, taking advantage of the statute's prohibition on the use of the mails or any other facility of interstate commerce to transport drug paraphernalia. Hundreds of businesses and homes were raided as a result of Operation Pipe Dreams. 55 people were named in indictments and charged with trafficking of illegal drug paraphernalia. The estimated cost of Operation Pipe Dreams was over $12 million and included resources of 2,000 law enforcement officers. At the time, Tommy's family, particularly his son, Paris Chong, was operating a family business, Chong Glass, and became a focus of Operation Pipe Dreams. For years, FBI and DEA agents were attempting to coerce Chong Glass to send pieces to either Iowa or Pennsylvania, in hopes that they would violate the statute of using the mail to facilitate the trafficking of paraphernalia. The Chongs refused. Chong Glass even had a policy in place for refusing to sell bongs to states where the statute was being enforced. But that wasn't enough. Federal agents, disguised as head shop owners, pressured Paris Chong to sell his pipes and deliver them through the mail to a fictitious shop in the Pittsburgh suburb of Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania. When Paris persistently refused, agents went to the place of business in person and ordered a massive quantity of out-of-stock merchandise. The merchandise was crafted but not picked up and sat idle in the warehouse as federal agents again pressured Paris to ship it. In order to get the merchandise out of the warehouse, DEA agents became employees of Chong Glass and shipped the merchandise themselves.
And so they busted us, and then they just give me a deal. They said, either you give up or we'll go after your son.
Right, I know you stuck up for your son.
And your wife, because she wrote the check. And it wasn't nothing illegal was going on. But and then they taped us they taped them trying to buy bongs from us, and our company wouldn't send it to them. They said, no, sorry, we're not allowed to ship the bongs to Pennsylvania. And so the feds came in person to the thing, and they already had an undercover guy in our business anyway. And so they arranged to send a shipment to Pennsylvania, which gave them the evidence to bust me. And it was all illegal. It was entrapment. It was undercovers, everything. The feds did everything, illegal. But when they said either you go or your son goes, and then I said, I'll go for sure, because I wanted the adventure anyway.
While 54 of the 55 individuals charged were sentenced to fines and home detention, Chong was sentenced September 11, 2003 to 9 months in federal prison, a fine of $20,000, forfeiture of $103,000 in assets, and a year of probation. He was charged for his part in financing and promoting Chong Glass. While Chong argued for community service and home detention at his sentencing, the district judge, Arthur J. Schwab, denied his requests and sentenced him to 9 months in federal prison, the $20,000 in fine, and the forfeiture of assets, and the loss of all merchandise seized during the raid of his businesses. Chong served his sentence at the Taft Correctional Institute from October 8, 2003 to July 7, 2004. He was actually a cellmate of the Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort, who credits him for encouraging Belfort to write his memoirs, and they've remained friends ever since.
So when Tommy said to me, I've never heard of anyone living this sort of life like you've lived, I was like, well, that's a lot coming from Tommy Chong. So that gave me some. So I started writing, and Tommy would help me. He gave me a couple of pointers, and I fortunately was able to crack the code for writing. I taught myself to write, and I started writing, and then people liked it. And then Leo and Marty, as soon as the book was done, the rest is history. The Wolf of Wall Street.
While government officials denied that Chong was treated any different from the other defendants, supporters felt his celebrity status was being used against him. Chong's publicist, Brandy Knight, said that Chong's family was shocked by the raids. Supporters started the Free Tommy Chong movement that called for his release. They questioned why Chong was prosecuted rather than his son Paris, who was the CEO of the business. They also pointed the disparity in sentencing between Chong's and those of the other defendants, and they protested the DEA tactics used in the investigation. To conclude, Operation Pipe Dreams was a pivotal moment that highlighted the government's aggressive approach towards drug paraphernalia and influential figures in the counterculture movement. And it's very clear that the government abused its power to focus solely on Tommy Chong due to his influence and advocacy towards legalization.
Do you think maybe going after Tommy Chong kind of helped create the legend?
Absolutely. It was ordained.